Chapter 50. The sort of things they say in old films. Moblicon XR207 located, said the drone again. Jack looked up. Amy, who had only been able to bend down in her seat, opened her eyes. Is that all it does? She whispered. I don't know, said Raoul. I doubt it, said Jack. What's the Mubblecone XR007? said Janet. The wheelchair, said Raoul. That's the one that's still actually at the heart of the Turbochaser. OK, well, maybe if we just drive quietly away, said Amy. She pushed the direction lever forward gently. Moblicon XR207 moving, said the drone. Uh-oh, said Jack. I think it's seen what you're doing, said Janet. Right, well, maybe I'll just carry on driving away and let it do its own commentary, said Amy. I mean, what difference can it make? Moblicon XR207 initiating override. Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that, said Raoul. It's okay, said Amy, driving the Turbochaser up to the gate and turning right to get onto the road. Oh, she said, as the Turbochaser came out of the gate and turned left. It's not okay. Why? Said Raoul. I turned the other way, but the car isn't obeying. Where are we going? Screamed Janet. Who is controlling the car? Amy frantically tried to pull the steering wheel back around, but it made no difference. The Turbochaser seemed hypnotised. They carried on driving the wrong way. Above and just in front of them, the drone flew on. It was like it was pulling them magnetically. Moblicon XR207 returning product to company, said the drone. Oh my days, said Jack. This will be Dad's work. Will it? Said Amy. Yeah, he said he wanted to get the wheelchair returned, didn't he? He'll have got Moblicon to send out this drone to 200 miles to destination. 200 miles? Said Amy. Back towards where we came from, said Raoul. How on earth is it doing that? Said Amy. I don't know, said Raoul. It must have put some kind of remote lock on the original wheelchair and now is controlling it. And how do we stop it? That I really don't know. Fabulous. Turns out you really are a great scientist, Raoul, said Jack. Oh, shut up, Jack, said Amy. Raoul got us this far and he'll sort this out, won't you, Raoul? 199 miles to destination. No one said anything. The car just carried on going, away from Scotland. Amy shook her head. She sighed and was about to say, I guess we may as well give up then, when Janet said, sounds a bit like the sat-nav. They all turned to her. Don't you think? She did an impression of the drone. 199 miles to destination. Which sat-nav voice do you mean? Said Amy. You know, the Welsh one, the shouty one, or the last smooth-sounding one. All of them. Right, said Jack. Good thought. Useful. Actually, said Raoul, it might be. How? 198 miles to destination. Well, that drone is on an electromagnetic frequency. It's probably controlling the car using radio waves, which have a specific wavelength. That's how everything electronic works. OK, said Amy. So, if the sat-nav is on a similar frequency, I don't know. It might interfere with the drone. There's just a chance. It's a long shot, said Jack, but it might just work. Is that sarcastic? Said Raoul. Yeah, it's the sort of things they say in old films, you know. OK, said Raoul, turning round. You got any better ideas, Mr. Man with a plan? Jack didn't answer. Chapter 51. If possible, make a U-turn. Right, said Amy, after Jack went quiet. Let's give it a go. 197 miles to destination. I think we'd better head, said Raoul. Amy turned on the sat-nav. If possible, make a U-turn, it said. For some reason, it now spoke in a woman's voice, quite strict, a bit like a head teacher. But nothing happened. The car carried on going. If possible, make a U-turn. You are driving away from your destination. 196 miles to destination, said the drone from above. Oh, that's all right then, said Janet. What? Said Jack. Well, the sat-nav says we're driving away from our destination, but the drone says we're getting closer. And the drone's much more shinier and more, high-tech, so I believe it. It's a different destination, Janet, shouted Amy. Oh, said Janet. Why is it called the same thing then? It's not working, Raoul, said Amy, desperately trying to turn the steering wheel. Do you mean Janet's brain? Said Jack. Janet stared at him and put 2 fingers at her eyes and then moved the 2 fingers towards him. Raoul shook his head. It's not loud enough. I don't think the drone can hear it up there. It's not actually a person, right? Said Jack. Can we make it any louder? Said Amy, ignoring her brother. Raoul looked around. Yeah, he said. He got out a screwdriver and started fiddling with the dashboard. 195 miles to destination. Do we, have time for, doing mechanical work on the car? Said Amy. Just give me a moment, said Raoul. Shall we sing something while we're waiting? Said Janet. Oh, my days, said Jack. I don't know that one, said Janet. What about Whistle While You Work? She started whistling the tune to Whistle While You Work. 194 miles to destination, went the drone. Went Janet. Wow, you're very good at whistling, Janet, said Amy. If possible, make a U-turn, said the sat-nav. Oh, I think I may go mad, said Jack. OK, said Raoul, pulling the sat-nav free from the dashboard. There were wires behind it, but they weren't quite long enough. He was able to hold it up in the air. Done it! Raoul held the sat-nav further up towards the roof of the Turbochaser. Then he pressed it against the bottom of the air horn. With a bit of luck, that should amplify the sound just enough. 193 miles to destination. Then, very loudly, coming out through the horn, like a little loudspeaker placed above the car, the sat-nav said, Replace the unit in the dashboard. You are a thief. Someone is breaking into this car. Help! Help! Oh dear, said Raoul. Chapter 52. 192.5 miles. Police! Police! Sat-nav being stolen, said the sat-nav very loudly. Maybe you should take it away from the air horn, said Jack. 192 miles to destination. Why are you still whistling? Said Jack. Raoul's idea is not even working anymore. In fact, nothing is working. It's over. The adventure is over. We've lost. Don't say that, said Amy. Said the sat-nav. Oh, great, said Amy. Now the sat-nav's making a burglar alarm noise. Well, at least it's covering up Janet's whistling, said Jack. Should I put it down? Said Raoul. Turn it off. Hold on, said Amy. Hold your nerve. 191 miles to destination. Come on, sat-nav, said Amy. Come on, just stop doing that for a second. Remember what your job is. Come on. If possible, make a U-turn, said the sat-nav. The drone stopped, which meant the Turbochaser stopped. Everyone inside held their breath. If possible, make a U-turn. The lights on the drone flickered, almost like 2 eyes blinking. It was as if it was thinking about it. It hovered there for some time. said Amy. Come on, said Jack. Come on, said Raoul. Said Janet. And then the drone flew up in the air, up and around. It did what the sat-nav told it to do. It made the U-turn. A big, flowing U-turn. And then it started flying off in the opposite direction. The Taylor Turbochaser followed suit. Yes! Shouted the children. 192 miles to destination, said the drone. I can't believe that worked, said Jack. It was a long shot, said Raoul, but it did the trick. Jack leant over and high-fived Raoul. 192.5 miles to destination, said the drone. Is it going to be following us all the way to my dad's now? Said Amy. 193 miles to 194 miles to Moblicon going away from destination. Job requirement to go the other way. But new instruction to U-turn override. Malfunction! 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 Boom! The drone exploded. Tiny bits of it, lights, fans, metal, rained down on the Turbochaser's roof. Don't think so, said Jack. Please rejoin the route to your destination, said the sat-nav. Which one is that? Said Janet.